Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Longo. No, I don't know if we're gonna be throwing chairs. Not necessarily. Hysterical, right? And so this video we're gonna be responding to one of my subbies, um, NM Hawkins. I think NM Hawkins is a woman, based off of the perspective and some of the things that NM Hawkins says. Right? I've been assuming it for the longest, but I just want to clarify. And we're gonna read what we think she said, and then we'll be on our way, and I will be giving my response to that after we read it. Okay. So NM Hawkins says to Mr. Z, other groups of women complaining about their men is not the same as those women fighting for their men. As a response to something I said, of other women are advocating for their men. I don't know where black women get this. I'm going to be a damsel in distress, and I'm not going to advocate for the men that I want. Okay. Anyway, okay. So NM Hawkins once again says other groups of women complaining about their men is not the same as women fighting for their men. Women will date and marry the men in their close proximity or social circle. Those men may or may not be in the top 20%, and that is fine, as long as that man can financially support and provide for his wife and children in the area they live in. Men, especially black men, need to do more than just be mediocre in income and personality. A man who wants a wife and children needs to make more than 40K a year. That means now. Okay, let's respond back to NM Hawkins with this. First, stop with the this kind of threat, this kind of lie of black women being able to have do anything more than have sex with non-black men. Stop. All the data says otherwise. Like NM Hawkins, listen. All the data says otherwise. Like all of it. Dataclysm, which came out approaching 2 decades ago. The dating divide that came out a couple years ago, like all of the data says otherwise. And that is not to beat up on black women, but it is to say like we live in an anti-black society. And like, could you stop pretending like that's not true when it comes to your love life, because you're trying to throw non-black men in black men's face and it's just not working? Number one. Number two, the median income for men, well, better yet, 2/3 of men never earn more than $65,000 a year. That's just something that black women are just gonna have to come to terms with. Number one. So all of this talk of like super ballerific guys, nah, not a thing. Third, nobody's deserving of nothing that you don't get. You're deserving of what you get. Period. You are deserving of what you get. See, what happened is women didn't actually think that men's indifference was going to affect them. That's what black women are dealing with right now. An increasing amount of primarily young men and their indifference. That's what you're dealing with. The young men under the age of 30 are definitely under the age of 25. Don't care what y'all talking about. Black, white, or Latino. Like, these men don't care what y'all are talking about. They don't. They find it funny, right? They find what Andrew Tate is engaging in funny. They like to use Andrew Tate talking points to troll women. They like to troll women with Kevin Samuels, but they don't care what y'all care about. And they're not going to work themselves to death for you and your ego, for you and your materialism, right? For whatever weirdo, hyper materialistic worldview you have. Right? Mediocre. Look, how about you actually do try to end up with the magical, mythical white man. That white, excuse me, that black women and Latina women and Asian women keep on throwing in everybody's faces. How about y'all do that? Or at least attempt to, right? It's very simple. You got what you wanted. You wanted equality. Unless you're going to rig the game that men always make more than women no matter what industry, unless you're going to, but that would go against feminism, so have fun with that. You wanted to open compete against the men for position and money and school scholarships. You wanted this. You got it. Wait, you wanted this, but you didn't want to win? How is this supposed to work? Imagine fighting for something, getting it, and then you didn't read the fine print on what it meant when you actually won what you wanted. And then you throw in a fit now. Because your Johnny don't get wet for dudes that don't earn more than you. Do you want the system rigged for men to always make more, or don't you? Right? Do you want men to always make more no matter what, or don't you? And to throw out a patriarchal rule dictated by pretty much elite white men, okay, then end up with them then. End up with them then. And another thing, women are advocating for their men. That's what Christine Imba is doing right now, like as we speak. The lady that wrote Men on Strike, Girls Write What? Name them. They're advocating for their men. They're advocating for their men when they're advocating for their sons. They're advocating for their men when they're advocating for their nephews. They're advocating for their men when they're advocating for their husbands. They're advocating for their men when they're advocating for their brothers. Women are advocating for their men. It's weirdo black women on the internet that think they don't have to and then get mad when the landscape isn't the landscape that they want. Oops. When they try to swirl or divest a thing and they fall on their face and they burnt every bridge with every real black man they have at their disposal. You're bad. Right? Right? Women, you have choices. Dear black women, you have choices. You don't have to stay with black men. Like I said, go fight for the top 20% man, most likely white man, or go engage in same-sex relationships. You're not owed this anymore. Oops, you don't get to pick and choose what part of the social contract you want to adhere to, and to hell with the other people that sign it. That's not how this works. You don't get to do both and. Sorry. Your Disney dreams be dashed. And that's all this is. Do you want equality? Do you want egalitarianism, or don't you? 40% of women in America earn more than their male counterparts. Now what? Now what? Mediocre in personality. What does that mean exactly? Kissing your ass? You have white women complaining right now that the men, white men, and you know, she was basic looking Becky, not particularly supremely attractive, not ugly either, complaining that the young men would rather stay home and watch adult content, we'll say, triple X content. Yeah, that's the environment now. Yes, it is. Now what? Right? That's the environment right now. Y'all just refuse to accept what comes with the egalitarianism in your dating life, in your potential marriage life. Do you want to rig the system so that men always earn more than women? If not, then deal with the consequences of men not always earning more than women. This is some weirdness that modern women, black American women got going on. I demand that you still earn more than me and be able to provide for me and the kids. The vast majority of men can't do that. Period. White, black, Latino, or otherwise. And by the way, in Hawkins, black men earn more than Latino men. I know you didn't make mention of it. Just FYI, right? But continuing, you know, it's like it's very myopic. It's seeing the world through a straw. This is the environment. This is what the ladies fought for. And so this is what it looks like on the other side. Right? Demanding that men, particularly black men, be able to support financially by themselves, wife and kids. Are you going to leave your job? I mean, like, are enough women going to leave their jobs, quit their jobs like tomorrow, so that these employers could pay their men double? If not, then stop talking. 76% of mothers work in America, in Hawkins. 76%. That's the environment. Right? Not just black women, white women, Latina women, Asian women. 76% of women in America, 76% of mothers in America work. I don't care what Becky is telling you at the job. She's working. She could keep on telling you, I don't need this job. She probably does. All are and the definition of woman and man, unless you're going to play into that stuff, over here men. There is no hard, or when I say that, I mean that in a way. There is no hard definition of man anymore. And quite frankly, there aren't necessarily trying to keep the definition of a man is. That just want to provide a protective part. You know, the walking woman over glorified doctor. Not the leader part, not the spiritual leader part, not that he get the last say part, not that he get the bigger piece of chicken part. Y'all don't want that. He sit at the head of the table part. We're back, everyone. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Got disconnected for a minute, right? But as I was saying, there's a part of being selfish where you actually have to be selfless, right? Because you have to consider what's in the best interest of the other party, because it directly affects you. And too many women think they cannot advocate for men, working class men, and everything's going to be fine. Clearly not. I don't care how it makes you feel. You either will advocate for working class men or you won't, and then deal with the consequences. And everybody think they're the main character. Everyone is the main character of their life. So everybody think they're going to win. That includes the women. I don't have to worry about these men. Fine then. Don't. 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, thinking that you don't have to worry about how all of this affects men. Well, right? Right? Thinking that you don't have to care is how we end up here. While also making demands. Imagine that. This is the environment, and it's interesting, and we see this oftentimes with black women in particular. White women don't have to do that. Other women don't have to do that. First of all, not true. Half the time y'all say that, it's not true. Other women don't have to advocate. Meanwhile, girls' rights, what has been out there for how long? Right? The lady that wrote men on strike. These people understand the environment. Maybe you don't. Or maybe you think it's just a man's job. It's just men's job to advocate for men. Well, how's that working for women? Fine, it's only men's job to advocate for men. How is that working for women? The women that can afford it, the white women that can afford it, the non-black women that can afford it are freezing their eggs right now. While N.M. Hawkins say these other women aren't advocating for their men. Okay, let's agree. Let's say you're right. Fine, they're freezing their eggs. Well, damn. Let's say you're right. They're not advocating for their men. Only weak black men, and you called it weak. Only weak black men think that black women should advocate for them. Fine. Those other women are freezing their eggs, though. Goddamn. Women will do right by men, or, well, y'all could do right by each other. Or multiple of you could do right by one man. There's that. Very, very myopic way of viewing the world. Thinking that you don't have to care about what men care about. Thinking that you don't have to advocate for men because you're a woman. Only weak men think that women should advocate for them. Okay. And let's say you're right. Now what? Okay, fine. You're right. Now what? Right? Now what? Like I said, ladies, you don't have to care about what black men care about. You don't have to care about what's going to be beneficial for them that is also going to be beneficial for you. You don't have to care about it, but you will eat the consequences of not caring. And not enough of you are going to be able to swirl and divest. The vast majority of you will not be able to swirl and divest. And the vast majority of you do not find vagina edible. So there you go. Now what? Right? If I got to be the one to burst your bubble, it is what it is. This idea, well, we'll just go find other races of men. How is that working for black women? You cannot kiss our ass, black men. We'll just go find other races of men to do it. How is that working exactly? You know when somebody getting their pride and they start talking out their ass and you're like, yeah, we both know that ain't true. Right? We both know that's not true. We have a innumerable amount of research that says the same from a bunch of people that don't even know each other. It's called white supremacy for a reason. It's called anti-blackness for a reason. Right? We'll just go find other races of men. Yawn. Y'all ain't get tired of like always trying to, and let's be very clear, y'all mean white men. Y'all don't get tired of trying to throw the mythical magical white man in black women's faces. I mean, excuse me, the mythical magical white man in black men's faces. You don't get tired, right? Especially when when a couple of the white guys see y'all comments online and be like, what are you talking about? Right? Dear black women, you could not care about what black men care about. That's your prerogative. But there's consequences to all of this. And when I say use the word consequences, like I mean that as a neutral word, not necessarily negative or positive. But there are consequences to this. Right? And Trail Bentley says, and thank you for the super chat. Trail Bentley says, from crack babies to test tube babies, hysterical. Right? And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat. That's interesting. So are the women that are a part of women's business resource groups across America weak? They ask for male advocates and support. Well, remember, Better You, that these people think that it's your job as a man to provide for them and to do for them and to advocate for them because women are the weaker vessel. Right? Because, and if you don't, if you want to take a more feminist stance on it, it's not that women are the weaker vessel, it's that we've had literal millennia of male oppression and patriarchy of some sort. And so it's the man's job to advocate for women who are in the lesser social position. But it's not women's job to do the same for men. Right? And that's okay, dear ladies. That fine, you're right. Fine, you're right. You're right. Now what? You don't have to advocate for men. Now what? Sounds good until it's time to start dating. Uh-oh. Sounds good until it's time to get married and have children. 60-40 split in college enrollment. I'm just saying. 40% of women earn more than their male counterparts, and y'all already screaming I didn't say black women. I said women. So no, better you. They don't think it's not their job to advocate for you. It's your job to advocate for them and do for them. What's their job? No job. Not anything pertaining to you. You know, it's interesting. These interesting ways that we find to say the word leech, because that's what they're saying that women should be on men. Now that may not be the word they're using, but that's what they mean. And by the way, $55,000 in M. Hawkins is not enough to take care of no wife and kids by yourself, just to about anywhere in this country. Y'all are literally living off a shoestring budget. If you're earning $55,000 a year and you're supposed to take care of wife and kids, shoot, just wife by herself. Y'all are definitely on government assistance at $55,000 a year, right? So, reading this comment from N.M. Hawkins, and the reason why I'm responding to it is because you know it's a common sentiment among black women. This we'll just go find somebody else then if you ain't gonna do the job. And it's your job to provide for wife and kids. Not anymore, it's not. Y'all refuse to deal with what came with feminism, second wave feminism, huh? Y'all refuse to deal with it. Wait, but you are dealing with it. You refuse to accept it, but you are dealing with it. You are dealing with advocating for women in a vacuum. You're dealing with it right now. This is what it looked like. You're dealing with it right now. Right? And yeah, look ugly, as it should. Right? So I understand, and once again, thank you for being a subby of mine's, N.M. Hawkins. And maybe you're not, maybe you just check out my videos, but you're not actually subscribed. But either way, black women don't have to advocate for black men. If you don't feel like that's your job, then you don't have to. But there are consequences on the other side. And I know every black woman think they're going to be the one to escape the consequences of not caring what happens to the men and not advocating for the boys and the men. I know all women think they're going to be the ones that don't have to worry about it. Because all the women are not going to have sons, right? And all the women are going to not end up with dating black men, right? And I think this ties into some of that hyper individuality concept that many people have. In this case, black people have, where you think it's really all about you in a vacuum. And like nothing could be further from the truth. Right? And for those of you that don't know, you can find the comment that I'm responding to in my previous, well, is it my previous video? Huh. That's a good question. Let's see, what video is it? Let's see. Give Mr. Z 1 second. Which video is that? It is. Give me 1 second. Let's see. No, it's the Paris Milan video, actually. It's the Paris Milan video. It's the video, it says Paris Milan again. That's what I'm responding to. Right? Big Kev said it again. And thank you for the super chat, Big Kev. And Big Kev says, they want you to be a good man, a good black man, right? Good in parentheses. good black man for free. And he said it. He said it aloud, right? Y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give Mr. Z 1 second. Yes, so I think it's also important to talk about this, to speak about the myopia and the concept of zero sum that's coming from many in our society, not just black people, but in this case, black people, black women, right? The idea that it is a zero sum game, that you will do for me because that's your job, right? As a man, of course, my job is not to advocate for you at all. It is actually advocating for patriarchy, which Mr. Z wouldn't have a problem with if you advocated for it all the way. Oops, right? And y'all talk amongst yourselves again. Give me 1 second. And we're back. We're back, people. We're back. Well, maybe. Let me see if I can avoid this employee real quick, this coworker. We all have that coworker, right? That just be doing too much. Yeah, we all have that coworker. And we're back. Okay, now we can get a little bit louder. Yeah. Okay. That coworker that would just be doing too much, and like people be low key kind of trying to avoid them. Yeah. Right. So on that note, yeah. So the reason why I'm responding to this is because N.M. Hawkins is, at least her comments are they're representative of what we see in overall society, right? Like, you need to do for me without me advocating for you to be in the position to do for me, right? So I get to worry about me, and it's your job to worry about you and me and these kids. My job is just to worry about me and these kids. Your job is to worry about you, me, and the kids. And anything short of that is selfish, right? Right. Other groups of women complaining about their men is not the same as women fighting for their men. It is your job to fight for black men. Oops. I don't care how it makes you feel. I don't care what Kim Foster's telling you, what Paris Milan is telling you, what Real Talk with Yanni and Chrissy are telling you. You realize that all of those women don't exactly seem to be the happiest women on the planet. You ever thought about that? No? Two of the four are single. One of the four just got into a relationship yesterday. And the other one is using terms like "naker." You really wanna get advice from a black woman using the word "naker"? Right? Men, especially black men, need to do more than just be mediocre in income and personality. Mediocre in income and personality. And M. Hawkins, you really want to talk about mediocre in personality? Do you really want black men to start speaking about mediocre personality black women? That they can't have a conversation about anything outside of what's going on social media, or whatever reality TV show host or personality and what they're doing, or whatever entertainer and what they're doing? Do you really want to have that conversation, Miss N.M. Hawkins? That sound good. Mediocre in personality, bruh. You realize we're talking about the same sisters that got the same hairstyles and wear the same type of dresses or the same type of whatever, wearing the same type of shoes, wanting the same type of thing. You ask them if they win the lottery tomorrow, they want the same type of car, they want to live in the same type of neighborhood. Are you sure you want to talk about mediocre personality? Especially to me in the black manosphere. When I'm on panels where we talk about everything, if I listen to those women's panels in M. Hawkins, are they going to be talking about everything in M. Hawkins? Are they going to be talking about any and everything in M. Hawkins? How well versed are those ladies about a number of things? And by the way, N.M. Hawkins, name your age group. It don't matter. From 18 to 70, name your age group. Destro said same poses, same gestures. He also said same facial expressions. Right. Mediocre personality is what she said. If we had to start judging women, not just black women, women on their personality, do you really want to have that conversation, Adam Hawkins? Y'all have been smelling y'all own farts too long, right? Y'all been smelling y'all own farts too long. Y'all actually bought into the hype that y'all don't want to really put in the work with the emotional labor. That y'all really the ones who's carrying the relationships. Impensive X Z, are you in 30s already? Yes. Z is in his mid 30s. About to be in the late 30s, actually. Right? A man who wants a wife and children needs to make more than 40K per year. That means he can make 55 plus per year. This is due to the current state of the economy. That would be nice. Unfortunately, the majority of men in America don't earn 55 plus. Oops. As I said, 2/3 of men in America never earn more than 60. It's actually 61,000. I keep on saying 65. I'm going to continue to say 65, but it's actually 61. But we'll say 65. Yeah, that's 2/3 of men, white, black, Latino, or otherwise, or Asian or otherwise, right? Sounds nice, but it ain't gonna work. The numbers ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing, right? Right? Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, yo. But yeah. Also, what black women, like white women, deserve to date and marry men who can financially support them. No, no, actually, no, you don't. No, wait. This word deserve. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's look up the definition for deserve. Let's do that. Okay. Definition for deserve: do something or have or show qualities worth of reward or punishment. Do something. Oh, let's. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's a action. Wait a minute. Let's read that part again. Do something. Huh. Let's say it again. Do something or have or show. Do something or show qualities worthy, excuse me, of reward or punishment. Of reward or dun 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 punishment. Uh-oh. Huh. The word deserve doesn't look like it's actually agreeing with you, Miss N.M. Hawkins. The word deserve says do something or have or show qualities worthy of reward or punishment. Ugh. Right? And similar words, oh crap. Ooh, you really don't want to know what the similar words are. Merit is the first word that comes up. Ooh, goddamn. Merit. Mr. Z is not really a firm believer in meritocracy, especially with the current system. It's all rigged and it's really not a meritocracy. But you said the word deserve, Miss N.M. Hawkins. And the first word similar is merit. Ooh, you don't even want to know what the second word is. Earn. God damn. Third word, warrant. God. Ooh, you're really gonna hate this next word. The fourth word, rate. Shit. The fifth word, justify. Let's stop right there. You said deserve. Let's go through those five words again. Merit, earn, warrant, rate, justify. All of that. Look, that means you got to do something. Not just come out the womb, XX chromosome. Right? Not just come out the womb, XX chromosome. You have to do something. You have to merit your way into that. You have to earn your way into that. You have to do something that warrants that. Then the people, the men, have to rate you. Uh-oh. You have to show that what you've done, who you are, justifies the treatment that you're going to get. Well, damn. The resources that you want. Oh, wow. You said the word deserve, Miss N.M. Hawkins. One more time for the definition and for the five similar words. Definition of deserve. Do something or have or show qualities worthy of punishment, excuse me, reward or punishment. Similar words. Merit, earn, warrant, rate, justify. Uh-oh. I mean, you did say the word deserve, Miss N.M. Hawkins. Ain't looking good. Uh-oh. Miss N.M. Hawkins says, this is not a, what she said, this is not a woman rule. It's a man patriarchal rule. Let me correct that for you. And I corrected it for you before, and you act like you ain't hear it, or read it better yet. White man, white patriarchy, white man patriarchy, which, by the way, is biting like a good 70-80% of them in the ass right now. PK said, "Do entitled to next." No, 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 no. I want to do that. That's overkill, PK. Right? That's an ICBM. Ain't no point. Right? This is not a woman rule. This is a man patriarchal rule. I don't even want to give you the definition of patriarchy, because then you're going to really see how much women don't matter. You think you saying something slick by saying patriarchy. If I read the definition of patriarchy, then you're going to understand how men get to treat you like toilet tissue in a patriarchy. You think you saying something. Let's go through it. Okay, fine. You said patriarchy, a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family and descent is traced through the male line. Here's another definition. This is the one. A system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. You heard that? Excluded from it. Excluded from power. Do you really want to go back to that world, Adam Hawkins? Y'all be saying stuff. I don't know if y'all really understand what you advocating for, or if you just think you giving a little slick, sassy answer back at the men. These little one-liners, cute one-liners. You think you say, you don't really fully appreciate what you're saying, or maybe you do. Maybe you don't want women to have any power or say. Maybe that's the world you want to live in, right? Let's read that second one again. A system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. If that's the world you want to live in, Adam Hawkins? Is that the world the ladies want to live in? Excluded from power? God damn, better better you find the workaround. Oh, that was slick, better you. That's slick. That was slick. And thank you for the super chat, better you. And better you says PK Angel, entitled definition. God damn, you see? Entitled definition: believing oneself to be inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. Kids who feel, ooh, god damn, look at that example. What is the first word of the example of entitled? What is the first word? Kids. Okay, let's go. Kids who feel so entitled and think the world will revolve around them. Adam Hawkins, even the definition of entitled ain't working with y'all. The definition of entitled said y'all are kids. Better you said PK Angel, I'll press the button for the nuke. Oh, let's read that one more time. Entitled definition: believing oneself to be inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. Example: kids who feel so entitled and think the world will revolve around them. I don't know. I don't know, N.M. Hawkins. It ain't looking good. It's not looking good. The word deserved ain't working with you. The word entitled called you a kid. Right? And said you think the world revolves around you. Ugh. Whew. Yeah, it ain't looking good. Right? Like I said, y'all be thinking y'all saying something, right? And M. Hawkins continues by saying, black women are not the least desired. Yeah, black women are not the least desired from black men, maybe from certain Latino men, not from white men. Let's stop. Not from Asian dudes. Let's stop. Let's really stop with that one. Right? Do you really appreciate the world you live in? Mr. Z has continued to say, It's not about black women's look. Black women got to work on their weight, but it ain't even so much the weight. The people that created this system said black people are on the bottom, point blank, period. And until black men and women help to overthrow this, then guess what that means for your dating prospects outside of the black race, N.M. Hawkins? Crystalline Cares has been at this for what, 2 decades? What are her results? Right? I'm not even gonna really mention the Asian dude that did the research and pretty much said that black women and Asian men are like the least desired. And remember, it was an Asian dude that did the research that also said, yeah, we're the less desired men. Right? She also continues to say black women are deserving. The word deserve again. Black women are worthy. Oof. Well, remember, similar word to deserve. It didn't look good. And finally, she ends out with, and this is what I started with, if black women cannot find love and respect from black men, we will find it with other races of men. Let's read that part again. If black women cannot find love, wait, let's say that again. If black women can't find love, okay, and respect from non-black men to black women. What part of this entire society, 331, 32 million people, shows you that non-black men respect black women? What part of it? Where? But sometimes y'all just be talking. If black women cannot find love and respect from black men, we will find it with other races of men. And she puts 2 exclamation points at the end. Right? Huh. None of the data says this. None. Like zero zilch. Y'all remember? Because I put it somewhere in my community chat. I got it from Shay Sade. Shout out to Shay. White people see the advances of people of color and they largely ignore it. Right? Let's be very clear. White people see the advances of people of color and they largely ignore it. Did you hear that, N.M. Hawkins? Trail Bentley said, was that on ultimatum? Right? So, dear black women, like, no. Sorry. They see your advances and they're largely ignoring it. They see the advances of Asian men, of Asian women, Latinas, Latinos. They largely ignore it. Black men or black women, they largely ignore the advances of people of color. They see it, they ignore it. So to all you black women flirting with the white dude at work, and you think he's not getting the hint, he's getting the hint. He's not interested, and he's trying to spare your damn feelings. Right? What did the Business Insider article say? Black women engaging in certain things with white dudes, pretty much. White guy tells her, I'm not interested in a relationship. Then a week later, she sees him walking, you know, walking holding the hands of a non-black woman. It's called white supremacy. It's called anti-blackness for a reason. The same people complain about the European beauty standard, then turn around and pretty much say, well, okay, I'm not working with black men. I'm just going to go pick a Latino or a white dude or an Asian dude off of a tree. Imagine the arrogance. Imagine Mr. Z said, well, I ain't working with black women, so I'm going to just go pick me a white woman off of a tree, a Latina off of a tree. Right? Because it doesn't matter. Right? So as I said before, y'all don't have to care. Dear ladies, you don't have to care what black men are saying. You don't have to care what black men are talking about. You do not have to care. But there are consequences to not caring. It's that simple. Right? So that was my response to N.M. Hawkins. It only took an hour. Right? And as I said before, it's not only this is a response to N.M. Hawkins, but it's not only about N.M. Hawkins. You do understand, that many women, black women, this is the way they think. These are their sentiments about advocating or doing for black men, speaking up for black men, defending black men. They see black men speaking about that as weak. They're not interested. And there is nothing wrong with that. Well, deal with the consequences of not caring. So maybe you make it. Meanwhile, all of your homegirls are single and only one of them end up with the white dude. So you got a relationship and one of your other homegirls got a relationship with a white guy and all the rest of you are single. I would like to direct you to Yanni's comment section where it was woman after woman after woman after woman after woman after woman talking about being celibate for 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, 17 years, 20 years. Half of those women tell you what they're not going to sell it for. Well, we really think that we don't have to care what other people think, what other people feel, what affects other people. I've said this before. You know that quote that says, what you eat won't make me, poop? Actually, that's like 100, like that's 100% factually inaccurate in the black community. Yes, what you eat will make me poop. Figuratively, of course. What you eat will make me, yes. We don't have the luxury of being these kind of individuals. That doesn't mean you're not an actual individual. But we don't have the luxury of really seeing ourselves as that. I'm sorry to burst everyone's bubble. Sorry. Yes, what you eat will make me poop. Socially, economically, politically, yes. Absolutely. Sorry to hurt some feelings. The Dark Vulcan said, thank you for being a friend. Golden girls. Hey, believe it or not, way more of them, that's pretty much what they want. They may not realize that's what they saying they want, but pretty much a handful of them have actually admitted that. Remember the videos that were kind of circulating a couple of years ago of women talking about these kind of female enclaves, and they're tiptoeing to same-sex relationship type of talk. Every once in a while, like, Kim Foster had a couple that popped up in her live comment section. She was halfway reading the comment out loud when she realized what the woman was saying. Right? There's been a couple of them in Selkish Ray's comments, a couple of them in Yanni's comments, a couple of them in Mr. ZB watching and reading, a couple of them, and it's not the same women that have popped up in Paris Milan's comment section, live comments. Right? So the Doug Vulcan, I mean, they kind of, right? Golden Girls was kind of giving a prediction. But let's be very clear, it ain't gonna be as happy as Golden Girls was. We already know what be happening in these same-sex relationships. Black lesbian relationships. Those women be thumping in those houses, those apartments, those condos. Be Mortal Kombat in there. Right? Hmm. Princess never knew that's where the song came from. Yes. Right? So if that's what you low key saying, then just say it. Well, bro, we live in the 21st century. I don't be understanding these people that have a issue coming out the closet and just being like, yo, like really, I'm about same sex relationships. Or if I can't get no dude that I find appealing, then I'll just, I'll end up with a woman. Just say that. I mean, that's what black women are already doing anyway. God damn, Mr. Z. Why do you think so many of y'all are bisexual? You think it's really because you love women too? No, you're throwing a temper tantrum. Right? And better you say shit. O'Shea video about the deadbeat stud daddy the other day. I think I know which one you're talking about. Exactly. Trell think he funny, just smashing boxes. Right? T713 says they really believe there is some vast IR dating market available to them. Let's be very clear on why and I agree with you, T. Let's be very clear on why Mr. Z addresses this IR thing all the time. Because it's a weapon. It's a rhetorical weapon that black people engage in, namely black women engage in, where they think they're going to get something out of black men by threatening black men with the mythical, magical, all-knowing, all-seeing, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent white man. Not so much the Latinos, not so much the Asians, but the white man. And that's why I continue to address it. Stop trying to use this excuse that's not really an excuse. But as the brother Edward Anderson says, do it. Right? Do it. Stop threatening black men with walking out and going to, and ending up with these mythical, magical, primarily white men, and do it. Uh-oh. Right? Trail said, I personally miss the old days when folks kept all their proclivities in the closet. Yeah, them days is over, Trail. Those days are gone. Oh man, that's yeah, bygone era, right? It's all in the open now, all over social media, all over mainstream media, movies, books, magazines, music, right? But like I said, that was my response to N.M. Hawkins. No point in keep on being a dead horse. Miss N.M. Hawkins, do what you feel you must. It's your prerogative, right? And other black women the same. You don't have to advocate for black men. You don't have to fight for black men. If you deem it as weak, then that is okay. But there are consequences to that. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? You do not have to care about men in general, black men specifically. But there's a consequence to that, right? To all the women that I'm not going to no protest for no death of a black man. I'm not gonna speak up for them. I don't care. Let black men figure out black men. I'm not going to war for them. I'm not fighting anyone for them. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But hey, y'all remember the internet is forever. The internet is forever, everyone. All right. We got to be careful what we're saying. Mr. Z is even coming across some of his old comments that I put on some video from 10, 12 years ago. Like, well, I said that, delete, right? And the vast majority of it is not nearly as egregious as what y'all saying on the interwebs, right? I'm coming across comments that I made 10 and 12 years ago. 8, 9, 10 years ago. But that also shows a level of maturity. And some of y'all are older than me, and you sound like you did when you were 12, right? There's that part. Like Pensum said, honestly, that sounds like a great idea. I would definitely encourage you to date out. You'd be a great candidate. And you know how they're gonna look at you and say, "Oh, you think you funny?" Nah, you just said you wanted to. I mean, like, I get it. You're right. Black men ain't an issue. You should date out. You're right. We're not on your level. We ain't going to school as much. We don't take life seriously, right? White men got white women kept. They paying everything to get. What did the black woman say on Twitter? And all those white dudes descended on her and embarrassed her. Oh yeah, they paying to get your nails done and all of this stuff and sending you gifts and doing all of this all before the first date. Yeah, you say that's true. Fine, you're right. I think you should date out. I think you should go and enjoy all of that. Right? And Sahel says, oh, yeah, okay. Sahel says, the Freaknik documentary in 40 years, but it will be about millennials during the YouTube era, right? And just social media era in general. Some of the comments that we putting in, how snarky we getting, Mr. Z has engaged in it a little bit. How we talking to each other, how we're engaging with each other, the social unrest. Right. The video y'all saw, Andrew Tate did with the skinny, like Indian looking cat or Arab looking, Middle Eastern looking cat, little frail dude yelling at him. Then Tate shows another video of some brothers roughing him up, and he don't got nothing for him. That's half these people on the interwebs. Talking crazy to people, barking on people, being super snarky. That's why the biggest fear they have is to be doxxed. Not just because you don't want anybody to find out your personal information. That's understandable, cool. But because you've been talking so goddamn reckless on these interwebs, you've been being so snarky. For some of you, you've been talking about aborting black males, calling black male nakers. You don't want people to find, oh, that's you. Oh, that's where you live. Or that's where you work. Or that's where your man works. Fine. Dudes don't hit women? Fine. What about if somebody run up on your dude? In front of you. Whoop his ass in front of you. Stomp him out in front of you. And then tell you why they did it. Now what? But you're not thinking that far. Right? So these people are just talking reckless on the interwebs, making their YouTube coin. Right? It all sounds nice, but clearly, and tomorrow morning I might cover that too. I'm not sure. It might be an afternoon show. Little clip that Yenny put up, pretty much talking about a brother who, I guess his lady is pregnant and he's considering how to tell her, he doesn't necessarily find her attractive right now. I don't know about that, but Yanny's saying, "Oh, see, just shut up. What? Go back to the days of lying. Just shut up. Why can't y'all just shut up? Oh, well, at least you're telling the truth now. What you want black men to do? Number one. Number two, and this is why I don't really want to have none of their kids. No, that's not your real issue. Your real issue is that you earn six figures because of YouTube now, and you're delusional, and you ain't do the math. You might have priced your vagina out the game, Yanny. That's the problem. Go get you a ballerific white man, Yanny, and go sell out in the sunset. Or maybe Latino guy. You are in Houston. Right? This is why I don't do this, and this is why I don't do that. No, you're delusional. That's why you don't have a man. Right? That's funny. Pensive, that's funny. And Pensive said, the bad B inflationary era. Bruh. They all are. BCS. Uh Oh man, I'm not even gonna read it out loud. I'll just leave it on the screen for a minute. Right? But she get away with that in Houston, BGS. She got a bit of a shape on her, you know. And brothers will go for that all day, every day. In the South, Yanni pulling all day, every day. In the South, yes, in the South. So that let me know you don't got a man because you're a hole. In the South, Yanni could pull all day, every day, and a couple of six-figure guys. You're an a-hole, and ain't nobody dealing with that. No, BGS, seriously, right? Serious. But and then you got kind of up there insane requirements. I agree with BGS on that. You got 8, 9, right? Requirements. Ugh, I don't know. The math ain't mathing. Well, yeah, BJ, you have said that. And BJ says, my folks from Texas. You have said that. Right. And KFC, thank you for the super chat. And KFC says, Pensive, agree and amplify. That sounds like a great idea. I definitely encourage you to date out. You'd be a great candidate for non-black men. Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to brother Edward Anderson for just pretty much, tell him to date out. Just tell him to date out. Right? Yeah. And Leon said, Mr. Z, she ain't in H-Town. She said she was. Well, maybe she lied. I don't know. Oh, good point. And Sahel said, the South has changed. Remember, many Latinos have moved and are moving to South. Yeah. Better you said, Z, you ain't capping about Yanni. Man, you park Yanni in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. She'll be all right. Right? Will she get what she's looking for? I ain't say all of that. But she'll be all right. Right? Toya said without the wig. Right? Yanni's pretty without the wig. I ain't gonna say what her haircut look like now. Without the wig, I ain't gonna say it. Because they gonna light her ass up in the comments. I ain't even gonna do it. And BJ says competition is fierce in H-Town. Yeah. It's that what isn't Houston like one of the top 10, top 5 most populous cities in the country? Something like that. It's definitely top 10 if I'm not mistaken. It might even be top 5. I'm not even gonna read that out loud, BGS. Right? Trelson, come on. I know in Tennessee we have shitty standards, but damn. Right? Yeah. And Leon said, okay, I get what you're saying. And Leon says, no, I meant she will not get what you think she can get in H-Town. H-Town has every and any type any type of woman. I get what you're saying. Mm. Oh, okay. Only A-Town is more competitive for black men. Oh, okay. And T said, we are the 4th largest city. Okay, 4th largest city in the country. Okay. And when you say largest, you mean most populated, right? Leon said she attended a Baptist black church. Oh, I was watching it was some old Corey Holcomb show, right? This was years ago, and I can't remember what sister they was talking about, middle aged sister they was talking about, and they were like, "Yo, she's cavern built." Oh, that stuck with me still to this day. Oh, well, at a cavern, she be pulling, she be getting numbers in a cavern. Oh man, I'm not saying that about Yanni. I'm just saying that when I read that from Leon, that's the first thing that came to my mind, right? Oh, see, Diaspora L said from Nashville to Memphis, dudes are femininity starved and they don't even know. Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah. Okay, and Diaspora said land wise, Houston is the second largest. Okay. Okay. Spain man, her page. Spain says, where can I go to get a good look at her page? And there's a bunch of different, but she doesn't have so many different looks though. Oh, and we just use her as an example, of kind of this. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't care. But like, do you really not care? And do you really not want it? Because you're doing a whole lot of talking for something you say you don't want, right? And in that vein, that's me saying that, she's saying, essentially, what's the incentive? I'm doing well financially, and I don't care to have a man's children. It really is the mouse utopia. Like we're watching it. Like Yanni is a prime example of what we're saying. A person that feel like they got their heart ripped out when they were a bit younger. Um, Now they're making some good YouTube money. And and she literally said, "I want to be a kept woman of leisure." So they have their little luxury apartment, their little Beamer, and they're like, "Yo, if you can't provide me with this type of lifestyle or better, then what's the point?" And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I actually think it's a really good case study because of how loud she is about it, right? And that's what I look at a lot of these particular people, these particular women as. It's like case studies. Like, look how loud you're being. All right, we in our 30s. Let's see how you look in 10 years. All right, when we get there, let's see how you look in another 10 years, another 15 years, right? So yeah, that's what I look at them as. And it's very telling because they don't realize how much they telling on themselves, how much they're actually saying. That's the fascinating part. And that's why some of my subs are like, you saying too much. And I'm like, no, their arrogance knows no bounds. Even if they were listening to Z, they're not gonna stop what they on. They're not gonna course correct, right? Even for their own sake, they're not gonna course correct, reevaluate, reconsider. They're not, right? So like I said, I use her, I use Chrissy, I use Kim Foster. The little bit that they do tell us, that's a case study. I read through their comments. I find it fascinating. The live chat, I find it fascinating because this does have real world effects on the black community, on larger society. When you see how these women respond to some of these pop culture moments, certain current events, what they do and don't say, and it's random comments. Like I mentioned to y'all, a couple days ago, the Kev on stage video when he's kind of making fun of the fact that his maintenance bill for his Maserati was insane, and just reading through the comments of the same type of women often that tell you what they won't settle for telling you how they couldn't afford that either, and they're glad that their oil change bill for their Corolla is 50, 60, $70, $120, right? I just love reading the comment when people have a sense of anonymity on the interwebs, and so they just tell you the real, or at least the real as they know it, if they're not trolling, right? And you take that for what it is, right? You read those comments, you listen to these people talk, and then you take that for what it is. Hey, this is some of what's going on in the dating market. Yes, it's exaggerated on the interwebs. These people be doing way more on the internet, but it's still the real them. Yeah, they're exaggerating. Yeah, they're doing too much, but there's an aspect of them that's real, right? So yeah, and I'll end out on that, and we'll end out with this comment when T713 says 713. I think that sounds better. T713 says the next 20 years is going to be interesting, bruh. It's up, man. I think about that all the time. I think about that all the time, right? That's why I'm careful with my words, because I want to be careful on how I really what I advocate for me in my own life, for black men specific, for black people, right? But these other people, it don't look like they just be talking reckless for the money, to garner views and attention, right? I don't think they fully appreciate what they're saying, and oftentimes their life is an example that how they think, if they really think what they're saying, isn't working, even for them. Chrissy been swollen for how long? Is it working for her? Right? Kristen came in the game bragging about her white husband that pretty much saved her. And now she's divorced from him. And her eldest daughter was in some type of weirdo relationship a couple years ago. I don't know if she's still in that type of thing, but weirdo pansexual type of, right? I said pansexual, sorry. Polygynous, polyamorous type relationship she was in. Right? Sahel said, as millennials age out, it will be chaos. I mean, look at Halle Berry. Bro, and Halle Berry's an Xer, right? Halle Berry will be way more commonplace in 10, 15 years. Black women that just talk they go from black man to black man to black man, talking a whole lot of crap about black men, then go do their swirl thing, that fails, and then they're gonna try to come back, but they're not gonna look as good as Halle Berry. They're gonna try to come back to black men. But I think the ending it differs. I think with younger millennials and Gen Z and Generation Alpha, they'll just go same sex. When it fails with black men, it inevitably fails with white men or Latino men or wherever they go, and they put some time in and it fails because it's them, they're gonna go same sex. That's what I think. The modern day Hallies, that's what I think is gonna happen to them. Or or their future Halleys, better yet. Good point, Kiki. Victor, Kiki is a millennial. Hey, already, right? So, like I said, we'll end out there. Super long answer to NM Hawkins. And just to other women that think like her, you don't have to care. You don't have to advocate. You don't have to fight for black men. You don't have to do that. Not as an individual, not as a group of women, but there are consequences, and you're eating them now. Hyper focusing on the women and the uplift of women at the detriment of your boys, your son, your young men, your men. There are consequences for that, and you're dealing with them now. So if you want to double and triple down on the consequences you're dealing with literally right now, then fine. Have fun with the outcome. Right? So, we're truly in right there. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Um, so y'all could don't sound like, some of these people, right? Very myopic way of viewing the world, right? That's why I definitely encourage y'all to check out other non-Manosphere content. That's why I share the type of things I share in my community tab. Yeah. So on that note, we'll truly end right here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out.